Today on Across the Fence, get a bird's eye view of life in Vermont and make tweeting fun again. It's time for Bird Notes with Mark Labarr from Audubon, Vermont. Hello, Vermont! With leaves finally on the trees and forests growing shadier, I've noticed it's a little trickier to spy the birds hopping from limb to limb. So I am very glad to have Mark with me here today because, Mark, I take it we're going to talk about the more colorful birds, so the ones that I might actually see as they're flitting around the treetops.
Yeah, and in particular, you know, one of the ones that really gets birders excited are the warblers. You know, there's a lot of colorful birds, ducks, waterfowl, stuff like that, but these little gems that are just now showing up, you know, many of them have migrated from Central and South America. And here in May, we're at the peak time of that migration, and some of them are moving through, some of them will stay. So it's a great time to see, you know, more different species than you might see in June after those northern migrants push out.
This is exciting. So this is like peak bird time
It is.
right now.
Birders are very excited this time of year, yes.
Well, and I've got a chance to look at these pictures. So these are some showy little birds, too.
They are. And as you mentioned, some of them, they move fast. They're colorful, but oftentimes IDing them is by song. And we've talked about Merlin, the app from Cornell. That's a really useful tool.
I'm going to mention Merlin at least 2 different times in this show today because one of your birds you're going to show me I did hear, identified by hearing. I'll say that again later. And then I have a mystery bird for you at the end. This is very exciting. All right, so let's talk about what you're seeing at the Audubon right now.
So, you know, I'm fortunate. I live at the Audubon, right? And I have a backyard.
I don't think I actually ever knew that.
I live right there, and then I've got the forest that goes up the hillside, so it's a diverse bunch of habitats, a great birding spot because with those diverse habitats you get a diverse number of species that are using it. And oftentimes I can just go out in the backyard and, you know, one of the ones I've been seeing lately, which we sometimes get and don't, is the yellow warbler, one of my favorites.
That is a beautiful little bird.
It's the only songbird that really, these warblers, that will be all yellow, you know, even underneath the tail. Some birds have a little less yellow under the tail, but this bird is sweet, sweet, you're so sweet is
That's
its
what the call
song.
sounds like?
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then the other one, another one that's singing a little bit further out, just outside my yard, this is the chestnut-sided warbler. And this is a bird that likes young forest habitat. The yellow warbler likes the shrubby stuff, and I kind of think of this bird as it greets you as you enter the forest. So it goes, please, please, pleased to meet you.
Oh, okay. These are like the most polite little birds, too.
Yeah, well, you know, now that we have Merlin, you know, you can hold up your phone and you can get that song. But, you know, prior to that, one of the ways that people figured birds out was the mnemonics to keep their, you know, okay, this sounds like this to me, and put words to it. And so that's how I learned to do it.
Pleased to meet you. Okay, and then how about this third one? We've got a...
So this is another one that hangs out with the chestnut-sided warbler. This is the American redstart, and this is a nice male with that bright orange on the tail and on the sides. You know, I'll do these. Some of them I can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. That's what it sounds like?
That's how I remember it.
Okay.
So, you know, knowing the song or understanding the song, and this is where, again, Merlin comes in, is an important way of identifying birds. Because as you said, the leaves are out. They're moving fast. So sometimes moving your binocular rounds can be a little bit difficult to keep track of them.
Well, it's also because it's differentiating the songs from each other. Because they can sometimes blur together and you're just like, I don't know, I'm hearing something. But so it's almost like being able to pick out a lyric. Right? Okay.
And I know people that are amazing birders with song, even down to the chip calls. I'm not one of those. So
I mean, I'm getting good at cardinals, but then I think that's kind of like, that's your starter bar. Okay. So these all have your backyard habitat, and then are there some as you push more into the forest?
So as we go into the forest or go up to the office, which is on the Audubon property, one of the ones that we see is the Blackburnian warbler. This is a bird that is the favorite of my office mate Kim's. I won't try to do the song for this one because it's a little bit difficult, but this is a bird that you would find in the forest, maybe a little higher elevation, but when you see it, you know, that color just jumps out at you.
Yes, but different from that yellow warbler because it's got some white banding on
Correct.
the wings and yeah.
A little bit of white under the tail, some streaking on the side, and that face mask. And then, you know, two of the regular Vermont when you're in deciduous forests is the black-throated blue warbler. Okay, and it has that little white check on the side on its wing there, plus that black face. And the way I remember that is it goes zoo, 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 zoo. So it's going up to the sky. What color is the sky? Blue.
Oh, very smart. Okay, yeah, zoo, 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 and it's going up, so it's blue. Oh, I love that. And I can imagine actually that white underbelly might make it a little bit easier to spot.
Yeah,
this one,
yeah, this is one of the colorful ones that will stand out, and you hear it often in deciduous forests in Vermont.
Okay.
You get it a little more coniferous, you know, some hemlocks, some spruces and stuff, and you're going to get the black-throated green warbler. And this is a great bird, and it goes zoo, 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 zee. And the way I think about it is it goes zoo-zee up and down like the Green Mountains, black-throated green.
Zoo-zee, Green Mountains. Okay. And are these all insect-eating birds?
Yes, most of them are either, they're often gleaning insects from the trees. Sometimes they will fly out and catch an insect, but a lot of that is a lot of the flycatchers.
Okay.
So many of these warblers, you know, when people ask what do birds do, they keep the trees clean of a lot of these insects.
Oh, look at that, the little tree cleaners.
Yeah.
Okay, and you have a few others I know you want to mention, and it's one of these is one of the ones that I was on Mount Philo, and Merlin picked it up and identified from the museum. So when we get there, I'll tell you which one.
The next one is often found around our beaver ponds, wetlands, wet areas, the common yellowthroat.
Okay.
So the masked bandit, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
And it's witchity, 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 witch. So if you
witchity,
go
witchity,
to a place that's slightly wet or a pond, the edges, you often find the common yellowthroat.
Okay.
And is this the bird that you heard?
No, this is not it.
Oh, okay. So the next one, this is a great one. This is a bird that is a warbler, but a little more difficult to see.
Yes, it's a little more of a little brown bird.
Right.
It looks kind of thrush-like to me with
It
that
does.
speckled chest.
It does, and it nests on the forest floor.
Okay.
So
This is
it
the one
needs
I
to
heard.
have the coverage, right? The ovenbird.
Yes.
And
Or at least according to Merlin, this
yeah.
is the one that I heard, but I can't recall actually what the sound. At the time, because of the identification, I kept picking it up again and again and again, and being like, "Oh, there's an ovenbird again. There's an ovenbird."
And that's the best way to keep logging those things in. It goes either teacher, 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 teacher.
Yeah.
Or pizza, 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 pizza.
Yeah, it's like that boop, 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 boop.
And
boop,
where
boop.
does the pizza go?
In the
oven.
Ah, look at this. He's
See?
like so smart.
And
so smart.
its nest is on the ground, is actually oven shaped. It's like a pizza oven that it hides underneath the leaves, and that's where it gets its name.
Amazing. Okay, and then we have one more of these.
And this is an interesting one because when I first started at the Audubon, we never heard these, and now these are regularly present in and around the office. This is the northern parula. And I won't do the song on this one because it's a little bit tougher, but this is a bird that something has happened in the forest around us, or the birds are moving further north, that we are now hearing them pretty regularly up around the office.
Pretty cool. Okay, and so now there's a couple of more warblers that I know at Audubon you're doing some work with right now. So what are these little guys?
So we have to go a little bit further afield for these because Audubon is up in the hills. We need to go to the Champlain Valley. We're doing habitat work with a bird called the golden-winged warbler. And we've just recently actually started a program called the Golden Chain Collaborative, kind of connecting land trust properties and other protected properties, making a little golden chain.
Ah, how cool.
And then its close cousin, which hybridizes with the golden-winged warbler, is the blue-winged warbler.
Okay, but the wings do not look blue.
Well, you see those white wing bars? See that bluish tinge to
Okay.
the top? That's
Okay.
kind of where it gets its name.
Okay, all right.
Now,
all
when
right.
these two hybridize, they come up with some crazy in-betweens.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a cool group of birds to work with, and we're trying to protect their shrubland young forest habitat.
Okay, and then I know that there's one more bird you want to show us. I think I tend to think of this as your favorite bird.
This is my favorite bird, okay? This is the gray catbird. And this is the first bird as a bird bander that I ever held. And I have two catbirds in my yard, and they're at either end, and they counter-sing back and forth to each other. When I'm in the garden, sometimes they have this warbling, they're a mimid, so a very diverse set of song. And they'll bloop, 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 and, you know, they're just chatting with me as I'm out in my yard,
Yeah.
and it's just a bird that I work with.
Having a relationship with any kind of a you know, a little creature is so special.
And what's fun is when I go to Belize, that's where they winter.
Yeah.
So we catch them in
Pick
the
them up
nets
again
down
there too. All right. So I'm going to share my bird with you in a minute, but first I want you to talk about your birdathon, because the birdathon's coming up.
So our birdathon is coming up, and this is where Audubon, it's a fundraiser. We go out and we try to see as many different species. You know, all of the staff get together. It's a great kind of day for us all to be out birding, and you can donate to the birdathon. Probably the best way, you can find it on our webpage now, but it's a little bit different, but is to donate directly to the Green Mountain Audubon Center.
Okay, so go to the Audubon Center, Green Mountain Audubon Center site.
Or just send a check in to Green Mountain Audubon and put birdathon in the notes section.
Very
and
cute.
We'll make sure that or you can even put my name next to it, and they'll know that that donation came in with my name to it.
Okay, all right. So, but get all those birdathon donations ready. And now so this is the bird that I saw. Now, I saw a flock of these.
Yes.
And they were in a crabapple tree right along Pine Street. A
Yep.
whole bunch of them. Not a ton of song, but Merlin did pick it up. And then so this is one quick view of it. There's one more image where I think you can see that tail a little better with that yellow banding on the tail. Kind of a tawny kind of colored
So
bird.
this is a cedar waxwing.
Okay. Technically,
And
Merlin told me it was a Bohemian waxwing.
Oh, interesting. I don't have my glasses on.
Well, and the images are not great. In the Bohemian waxwing, so now the Bohemian waxwing would be unusual. Would the cedar waxwing also be
Bohemian
unusual?
waxwings we see in the wintertime usually, and they have a little red underneath the vent. Their songs can be similar, and Merlin isn't perfect.
Right, Merlin is
This
not
time of
perfect.
year, we see mostly cedar waxwings. They breed here, Bohemians don't. And so they'll move further north after, you know, some years we see them and some years we don't. But cedar waxwings are regular visitors. They will flock like that. They love to eat berries.
Okay.
Sometimes they get into trouble and they eat fermented berries.
And then they get drunk?
And fly into windows. Yes.
Okay.
Window strikes.
Yep.
But they're a late season breeder, so they'll breed a little bit later. So that's why you're still seeing them in these loose flocks.
Well, whether it was a cedar or a Bohemian, I was pretty excited about it.
Yes.
And that tells me, do you have a question for Mark? Take a picture and send it to him. His contact info is right there on the screen. Mark, always fun. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah,
Can't wait to see you next month.
Yeah, and get out there and bird, because this is the time.
This is the time. And as always, Vermont, thank you for learning and exploring with me today and with Mark. And thanks to the team that makes Across the Fence possible. I'm Amy Finley. This is Across the Fence. Come back and let's learn and explore again tomorrow.